Hello, and thank you for clicking on the link to this audio video overview for the Business Financial Manager position at LG-OSS in Irving, Texas. Now, what this is a bunch of information that you're going to need as you move through the process that's different from everything else that's on the internet. And why we're doing this is because we're trying to move through this process quickly, and because it's time sensitive, this is the easiest way for us to get you a bunch of information. Typically what happens is a recruiter would call you and set up an interview, and it would get scheduled, and you'd be on the spot basically to answer a bunch of questions, and we'd provide some information. But the scheduling delays the whole process. So this way it's more effective and efficient with our time. And there's some benefits to you as well. Now, this is only for candidates for the Business Financial Manager position that have already been pre-screened. So let me explain where you're at in the process. If you're getting an email with this link, you've already seen a job posting, or we've communicated directly to you because we've seen your resume. There's a pre-qualification process that makes sure that you're the right kind of person we want to talk to. And then after that, we send you this information. So this audio, video, and then the links that are also include overview of the job, benefits information, and so on. So all of this is to get you into the process where we can get feedback from you, and then we can determine next steps. So again, if you're already getting this email and you're listening to this, then you're already halfway into the process and you don't realize it. The next step after you're finished with this is there's a link that we've provided you in the same email to a questionnaire. And that is a pre-interview questionnaire where we get a bunch of information about you and your background. And honestly, it's probably more important than the resume, because we're asking very specific questions to complement what's on your resume. And those very specific questions are so important to the job we're recruiting for here that it's super sensitive. So depending on where you're at in the process, what'll happen next is we'll set up an interview over the phone or video, and then there may be an in-person appointment. We'll see. But after that, then the hiring process then takes over. So we're trying to collapse this time frame. Now, the reason why you're getting this is because we've already looked at your background and you're kind of on target. So if you're the right kind of person, you're probably not somebody that's just looking for a job. You may be in between roles, and that's great. But what we're really looking for is somebody that's experienced professional, and you've got a base of knowledge and experience. And now you're looking for a place to really ramp up your career, where you're involved in a large organization. We've got an organization here that's operating in 14 states. It's servicing a customer that's a globally recognized international brand. And I'm telling you, when you have logos like that on your resumes, companies listed on your resume, it's massive in terms of your long-term career potential. So if you're looking for a stable, long-term professional job with increasing responsibilities and with globally recognized brand names to be on your resume because you're on a professional career track, then you're the person we want to talk to. And, kind of sidebar real quick, I can just tell you that was my personal experience. I went to work for a supply chain organization that was responsible for the movement of materials when I was real young, and I was involved in warehouse operations, but I learned the software so effectively that they had me doing special projects, and then I went into cost accounting, and my professional career blossomed after that. I just needed like a foot in the door. So if you're getting this, you already have the professional background in accounting and finance, and you're already halfway there. So let me introduce myself. My name's Mark. I'm a manager inside the recruiting team, and my job is to make sure that you have a fully transparent view of this work opportunity, the good, the bad, the challenges. And again, we're running out of time to schedule phone conversations, so this is a good way for us to get you this information. And it's pretty much the same as an interview, because if we were going to do a phone screening interview with you, we would give you a bunch of information, we would ask you a bunch of questions. So this is basically the same process, but a different type of workflow. And there's no AI here. We're all real people. We're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So the hiring company is LG-OSS. So whenever you hear us mention that organization, they're based in the DFW area, and they've got operations in like 14 states. It's a 400-person company, so pretty large organization. Their number one customer is a globally recognized telecommunications company, and you'll find out who in the process. But I'll tell you what, when you got that name on your resume, it's a big deal. Now, we are the recruiting company. We're Proforce. So if you get an email from one of our team members, we're responsible for the recruiting. But this is not a staffing job. This is not coming to work for a staffing organization. This is a full-time work opportunity directly with LG-OSS as the business financial manager. And I would also suggest that they've got long-term contracts with their customer base. So this is a long-term opportunity. Now, the corporate office is in Irving, Texas. So hopefully that sounds familiar to you if you're familiar with the DFW Metroplex. So let me explain a little bit about the job and then some of the benefits and move forward from there. There's effectively two big buckets of work associated with this role. One is accounting and finance, and the other is business operations, but it's all financial related. One is in the area of providing like general accounting support. So if you've worked in a small to mid-sized organization before where you've had responsibility for AR, AP, GL, and running reports and providing information and data to like an external CPA who's going to be doing financial statements and other annual reports, then that's the kind of environment we've got. There's not enough work to keep one person busy with just AP or just accounts receivable. It's, an hour of this, an hour of that. It's all added up to be a full-time role. So another thing that you'd be responsible for is just making sure that we've got good accounting policy and procedure, and we're collecting the information the right way, and it's going into the accounting system properly, and just driving ongoing efforts to maintain the accuracy of the data so the financial reporting is good for decision making. Another thing is banking and revenue and cash management. You'll see that on the downloadable position profile, which includes the job description, that we've got to make sure that we're moving money between the appropriate accounts to fund payroll and other things, and that's something else that'll be on your plate. Now, we've got a payroll team and we've got an HR team that is responsible for a lot of the execution of that work. But somebody's got to be in the accounting role to make sure that the funding is available as needed for timely processing of ACHs and wires and other things. So there's a tactical responsibility you have in terms of general accounting, and then there's an oversight responsibility when it comes to managing cash flow and revenue and other things. And we also want you to be comfortable reaching out to customers when there's aging invoices and that kind of thing. And then on the business operations side, there's a lot of data that goes into developing reports that's operational in nature, but it's financial in its result. So we want you to have visibility into where the information is coming from, everything from 401k to timely payroll data and other expense data, because some of that information is used for invoicing clients as well. So even though you may not be responsible for the actual work, we want you to learn it and become familiar with it. So obviously what I'm describing here is someone who's got a pretty amazing span of control. You would never get this in a giant organization with thousands of employees. You'd have one job, you'd sit at a desk all day and do one thing. This is not like that. You've got your hands in a lot of different parts of the organization to make sure the financial data is accurate and correct. So for the right person, this is a type of job where every day is going to go by quick. You're going to be busy. You're going to have all kinds of different things to do. And your resume is going to really expand. So accounting governance is what we'll call it, is important to make sure that we're driving accuracy and completeness of data that's supporting accounting and billing and financial reporting and other things. So take a look at the downloadable job description. We're not expecting that you're going to necessarily have all of this stuff in your background and experience, but if you're 80%, man, we want to talk to you because you can learn the missing 20%. We can train on that stuff. Now, there's no supervisory responsibilities, so you don't have to worry about stepping into a scenario where you've got the headache of ramping up, learning a new industry, learning new processes, procedures, and having to manage people. That is a lot to absorb. There's no direct supervisory responsibilities, even though you're essentially a leader in many capacities to the other team members. So right now, the pay band is 52,000 a year to 65,000 a year. So obviously, we're not looking for somebody with 20 years of experience. If you're already making 85 and you're looking for 90, okay, you're beyond professionally in your career path where we're looking for somebody. We're looking for somebody with a few years of experience. They've got the drive and the hunger to learn. They've already got good accounting knowledge, and this is a break for them to get into a role and grow with the organization, get promoted, and stay with the organization as it continues to expand. And there's other perks. So it's everything you would expect, health insurance, dental, vision, all that stuff. 401k is great. Paid holidays and time off, of course, and life insurance, disability, all those things are there. And you can take a look at that in the downloadable job description. So just again, from my perspective as a third-party recruiting organization and part of the team that's responsible for bringing in great people, I think that on the short term, it's great to have a wonderful job and consistent income and stability. But the real benefit to this opportunity is to somebody that wants more than just a stable job. They want achievements. They want to be able to grow. They want to be able to learn. They want to have career impact where they can develop and grow into a higher level of responsibility within the organization, because the business does have a lot of new potential opportunities on its plate. And as the opportunity grows, it could very well be a supervisory role at some point in the future. And the organization has an internal policy of always promoting from within whenever possible. So that's the real value to this type of an opportunity for somebody that wants a foot in the door to leverage whatever degree and experience you've already got. So some of the requirements, as you would expect, associate's degree or equivalent work experience. So if you've already been in the workplace for 5-7 years and you're okay with the salary range and it's a good fit and you're local in the DFW area, then we want to talk to you. We also are looking for somebody with at least 3 years of accounting experience or something in a similar role. That could be in a variety of different places. You may not have all the experience in one job. It could be over the last few years, you've had a couple different jobs and you've got all of the experience, but in different roles. Great, we want to talk to you. And then obviously knowing accounting and having great math skills and all that. Now, you are going to have to pass a drug test, background check, security screening, all that stuff, because we've got client obligations, part of our contracts with our clients that make all that non-negotiable. So just anticipate that. If you've got something silly in your background, just let us know. We can tell you right up the bat, is it a waste of time or is it something that's not going to be a serious disqualifier? Obviously, you've got to have proficiency with computer software, especially the Microsoft Office package, Word, Excel, and then also specifically with accounting software. And depending on what accounting software you have in your history and your background, it may work well with what we've got, but we'll get into the details as we move in the process. We just want you to be familiar with accounting software and all the import-export process, creating ad hoc reports and those kinds of things. And of course, as you would expect, this is a professional role. So we would want you to have great communication skills, good, solid professional written and oral English, and be really detail-oriented, hungry and motivated and positive and all those things. So I would tell you also that the folks that are here at LG-OSS, especially in the corporate team, they're good people, but they're all very driven and want to do a great job and very proud of what we're accomplishing. So if you're dependable, if you have a customer service attitude, if you're a people person, then that's even better, because we like people that we like. Everyone wants to work with people that you like. So that's the goal. And On the downloadable position profile, there's some other characteristics that we would love to see, like teamwork and being able to be personally accountable for your own performance and being analytical. So take a look at that. If you're the right person, you're going to listen to this and you're going to say, "Wow, this sounds pretty interesting." If you're not the right person, that's okay. We still want to make sure that you get the proper consideration. Now, from here, if you're thinking, okay, this sounds interesting enough for me to get into the process, we want you to complete the questionnaire. There's a link provided with questions about your background, experience, your availability, and more about you. And there's a couple open-ended questions. Take your time. The biggest advice I could give you is don't rush through it. Pull out your phone, do it on your phone. That way you can talk into the phone and it'll type for you. Use Siri or something. And that way you've got information that is complete and thoughtful. Don't submit it until you're good with the information. And then I think we'll send you a link also after you submit it in case you want to edit the information you submit. So again, we read those things and we get more information from that than we do from your resume. So take your time. Trust me, it's better than being on the phone with a recruiter and having a bunch of questions thrown at you. It feels like an interrogation. And every time you get off the phone, you think, man, I wish I had said this, or I wish I had not said that. This way you have a chance to think about your answers before you submit them. So it's actually better for you. Okay, so that's the next step. So glad you clicked on this and listened to this information. Take a look at the questionnaire, and we'll watch for your response as we get that back. Then we'll figure out next steps with you. And if this doesn't turn out to be the right fit for you, don't be discouraged. I know it's hard if you're looking for a job or trying to change positions, but there's something out there for everybody. When you're in the right seat on the right bus, it's amazing. And that would be our goal for you as well. So if you're a candidate in this process and you're not a good fit, then we'll still send you some resources that'll help you with your career changes that will help you in the process. All right, that's it. I'm Mark. Thank you so much for listening to this, and we'll watch for your information.